You can show them the way. You can show them the steps. You can give them the books. You can listen to the podcast. You can learn all the things about growing them, but you can't make them do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Built Not Given. Today, I kind of want to go over when growth costs you people. And by people, I mean friendships and the people that you surrounded yourself with. Because when you start to grow, when you start to build, and you start to change, if they're not doing that with you, all that's doing is creating friction. And they're going to slowly fizzle out. And that's okay. It's nobody's fault. It's not yours. It's not theirs. It's just a thing. And it's a very common thing, but nobody seems to really talk about it, and nobody seems to prepare you for it. I know I wasn't prepared for it, so I want y'all to be prepared for it, and I want y'all to know that it is normal and it is okay. And there is no need to be upset about it. Because it happens. And it happens not because they did some big thing to piss you off. It's not because of some argument. It's not because of some malicious attempt at you. It's not because anything like that. It's nobody's fault. It's not yours. It's not theirs. It is just a thing that happens. And like I said, nobody talks about it. So that's kind of what I want to go in today and to kind of talk about. Because I wasn't prepared. I know some people that I've talked to, they weren't prepared. And I don't understand why, because it's a very common thing and everybody goes through it. So, with that being said, kind of want to get into it. The truth is not everybody grows at the same pace. And not everybody wants the same future. Maybe you want to build $1 million company, a $10 million company, a $1 trillion company. And maybe they want to sit on the couch and watch TV. Or maybe they want to focus more on family. Maybe they want to have 5 kids. Speaking of 5 kids, I know somebody with 5 kids and they're growing the business. So you can have 5 kids and still grow a business. But what I'm saying is maybe they don't really want to do anything. And there are people completely content doing that. They just not me. And I'm assuming it's not you if you're listening to this. So sometimes the version that they liked of you is not the version that you're growing into. And you can't force somebody to like you over here. You have to. You either have to stay over there or meet them where they're at. And if you meet them where they're at, you can no longer grow to what you want to be over there. And they can't go from way over here on the couch to going to the gym every morning. They can't. It's just not. It's not in them, and that's okay. Like I said, everybody's different. But what's not okay is making them be what you want to be. Bringing them along in the road with you. You can show them the way. You can show them the steps. You can give them the books. You can listen to the podcast. You can learn all the things about growing them, but you can't make them do it. You can't. It's just not, it's not possible. Because, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own version of their life that they want to get to. And you can't force somebody to come along with you. They have to be a part of it. And growth creates separation. Separation from you and your family, you and your past friends. And it also in a way, it separates you from what the real world is, quote unquote. Because where you're operating in and where you're going, it isn't what people are taught. It isn't the normal. The school system was created by the Rockefellers to create warehouse workers, factory line workers, and it hasn't changed since then. So you don't learn that your opportunities are uncapped. You learn that they're capped. You learn that you can only be so much, which I think is bullshit. But it is what it is. That's another episode. So you are uncapped. You can go way over here. You can create $1 trillion company. It's getting harder and harder, but you can still do it. Now's the time. If you act now, you can do it. What I'm saying is, it is okay to leave people behind. It's not okay to think you're better than them, because you're not. You're just going a different direction. And maybe they want to go your direction. Maybe they do want to grow. But maybe they're not ready to grow yet. So think of it like this, and this is how I think of it. And this is why I'm doing this, because I understand that I started down the journey a little bit sooner than everybody else. So the people that are watching this are probably younger, and I hope that the people from my hometown are listening as well, because not that I know everything. I don't know anything. But what I do know is up to where I've gotten now. And everybody has to get there. So maybe what it looks like is you stay in touch with that friend. You don't make it a priority, but you contact them every couple months, every few months, whatever that looks like. That way, when they're ready to grow, they come to you. And you can say, hey, don't do this. Don't do that. I've already done this, and this is why it didn't work. Or, hey, I really think you should try this because I feel like I missed this opportunity. So there's 1,010,000 different ways that you can go about it. But what it comes down to is it is okay that you lose friends. You will lose people, and that's okay. You just can't drag them along if they're not ready. I know this because I've tried. And it never works out. But on that, I'll kind of talk about, not naming any names. I've been to 4 different high schools, so I went through a lot of different friend groups. I was at my first high school. I was all the way to 9th grade year there. So a lot of the connections that I have, and I still have, are with that school. And I don't really talk to anybody over there anymore. Not because I dislike any of them. I love every one of them. And if one of them called today, I'm picking up. And I'm answering it, and I'm figuring out what they need because I want to help, because they were in my life for a reason. Whether that be I learned something, or maybe they learned something from me. I don't know. But what I do know is I care about every single person that I was ever friends with, and I will always pick up the phone, and I will always answer it. But at the same time, I'm not calling them to hang out because we're not on the same path. I'm headed one direction. And truthfully, this hurts a lot of feelings, but they would slow me down. I've got a vision. I've got a goal. And unfortunately for me, the choices I've made makes it almost impossible to have friendship along the way. Because it's long days, long hours. But it's a choice I've made, and it's a choice I'm okay with. Because it doesn't bother me. It's what I love. I love it. I mean, if I could do this every single day, I would. Because I love it. I am in love with the journey. I'm in love with the hard. I'm in love with it. It is so much fun to go to sleep feeling like you've done something every single day. And if you haven't done that, I highly encourage it because it's very rewarding. And I think that was my hardest part of growing out of those friendships. Because, like I said, I went through 4 different schools, and I kind of gained a couple friends outside of those schools. But over time, and the more and more that I got into working, into building, into growing, those people kind of fizzled away. And it is what it is. It upset me. It was terrifying because I didn't know why. I didn't know what I did. I overthought it. I was like, why are they not talking to me anymore? Why are they not talking to me anymore? And what I didn't realize is I'm not talking to them. And subconsciously, I knew that the reason that we did not get along and that we did not think the same and that we did not do the same is because I'm going one direction and they're headed another. They go to college. They do the normal route. They do the route that they want to do. They want to do the route. I know several people that want that college experience. And truth be told, I think it would be great. It would be a whole lot of fun. But unfortunately, the way that I'm wired, I can't do that. I would be miserable. So, my path took me way down a different direction. And I lost some people along the way. And it's not that I lost people, so to speak. It's more or less that the alignment changed. It was because, like I said, I would still pick up the phone if I called them. And I like to think that if I called them, they would pick up the phone. So it's not that I lost people. It's that we just went a different direction. And that different direction, unfortunately, caused us to kind of fall out and not speak anymore. And that's okay. It happens. Some people are in your life for a reason. Some people are in your life for a 6-month period to teach you a lesson. And you're in people's life for 6-month periods to teach them a lesson, because God orchestrates everything. Everything you do has a goal, has a meaning. And maybe you talk to somebody one time and you say one thing, and that one thing changes the direction of their life. But you never speak to them again. That's okay. Because what they were meant to get out of that, they got out of it. And the second that you realize that losing people is okay, and that there is always a bigger reason, it doesn't hurt anymore. It doesn't bother you anymore. Because you understand that you learned from them what you needed to learn during that period. And they learned what you needed to learn, what they needed to learn during that period. And I know that that's a real tough to swallow. It was very, 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 very tough for me to swallow. But then I realized that I don't owe anybody access to the version that I want to be. I don't owe anybody access to the table that I'm creating. I can give it to them. I'm more than happy to give it to them. But they're not owed it. They don't have any right to come over here and eat off the table that I created. And you don't have any right to go eat off the table that they're at. Because like I said, you are separated now. Your alignment changed. Y'all went 2 different directions, and you can't force yourself in their direction. They can't force you, their self in your direction. And not everybody that started the journey is meant to end it with you. Maybe you had a mentor that was in your life for, again, a year, and you grew out of that. I know I got a real estate coach when I first started real estate, and within 6 months, I felt I had outgrown him. Not because I knew everything, but because he was teaching the stuff that people learn over a year in real estate, when I learned that in the first 6 months. Because I focused on it, I read about it, I was like, what do people learn in the first year that I need to learn now? And it took me a little longer than I wanted to. I wanted to learn it in 2 months, but it took 6 months. But after that 6-month period, I was like, hey, dude, I'm not feeling I'm getting anything out of this. And I'm sorry, it's not you. It's not something you're doing, because you're doing your job. You're doing what you should be doing. You're teaching somebody that's fresh into real estate what they need to know in the first year. Unfortunately for him, I didn't communicate that I was ready to move on. So the last 6 months of our coaching and the last 6 months of our conversations just sucked. Neither one of us wanted to be there. Neither one of us really had anything in common. He was from Canada, lived half the year in Mexico. But I wouldn't trade those first 6 months for anything. Because he did. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot that I still use today. But then 6 months later, I didn't need him anymore. Because I had grown. Because I had changed. Because I had gotten better. And that's kind of what the Built Not Given is about. That's what this movement is about. Because you are building something and you're not giving it to somebody. And you're not getting it. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to build it. And that goes the same for the past friends. Like I said, you can show them the ways, but you can't push them along, because then you're giving them the effort that they need to have themselves. You can give them accountability, but you can't make them do it. You can't make them follow the path you're on. That's a decision they have to make, and that's something that they have to do. So, if you're like me and you're in a season of not really any friendships, you're in a season of growing, you're in a season of building, you're not alone. It is normal. And it's going to be okay, because when you get to where you want to get, there will be people there. You will have relationships there. And everything will make sense when that time comes. But that's it for today. I will see y'all next week. And again, please share it, like it, leave me a review. There's a link in this description that gives you access to my website, kind of everything on there. If you're interested in real estate, you can go in there as well. Or if you just want to talk about the podcast, there's a place in there for feedback. There's a place in there to watch it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places that it's at. It's all linked there. So please go check it out. It's in the description.